ElevatePod, where we elevate your mindset, inspire your spirit, and ignite your leadership journey. This podcast is brought to you by Elevate Leadership Services. My name is Pearl.
And I'm Chiwachungu.
We are the co-founders of Elevate Leadership Services and the hosts of Elevate Pod. The Elevate Pod is dedicated to inspiring and empowering listeners, focusing on minorities and immigrants by offering valuable tools, resources, and pathways to foster personal and professional development.
Oh, today we are very thrilled to have Agatha Reed, also known as AJ, but we are going to call her as Agatha all the time, who is going to share her personal experience, but also her journey on growth through adversity, an experience that's worth listening to. We are going to explore the powerful message that she has to share. She has been knocked down in life, but risen. Maybe it was tough for many of us. I think when we lose our jobs, or sometimes we are challenged, or sometimes adversity hits us because we are having a bad day or something has just gone wrong. But the question is, do we grow through that? We all have been there. But here is the gold, and it's a moment that many sometimes don't realize. When we go through those circumstances, as hard as it is, and as often as we see it, it shapes us and it allows us to become who we are. Let's just think about a caterpillar that's only the caterpillar. It's only when it goes through or it breaks through the cocoon that is transformed into this beautiful butterfly that we all admire. Our struggles are a little like that. They push us, they test us, and ultimately they help us to develop strength, perseverance, and resilience. An author, Khalil Gibran, beautifully said, "Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive character are seared with scars. Every scar, every hardship is a story of triumph in the making." And we should not forget that the most inspiring stories of success, they normally come from people who have faced the impossible odds. We've known the inventors who have sort of failed 100 times, or the athletes who have pushed through the injuries and exhaustion to win. Their secret, they saw adversity not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone to something magnificent. So today we are going to be exploring this topic with somebody who has gone through adversity, but that adversity has allowed her to grow. So let me introduce a little bit, or give you a little bit of the background on Agatha Reed. Agatha, as I say, also known as AJ to those people who are close to her, she is, and I can testify to that, a dynamic leader and a community builder. She is based in Stockton, California, and she's known for her resilience, her entrepreneurship, and the heart of service. She is a co-founder of Alchemist Group, a group that is doing so many wonders for the community within the Stockton area. She's a driving force behind the Alchemist Group. Agatha continues to inspire the Stockton residents through her clarity, her leadership, development, and our purposeful actions. She's also a co-owner of Dogtown Junk Removal and Hauling. It is a company that was born during the COVID-19 pandemic. Agatha and her husband, Sammy, launched this community-focused business, which emerged from our personal hardship. She spent a year experiencing homelessness, an experience that fueled her determination to save others. Currently, she serves as a board member for the Emergency Food Bank in Stockton. She joined the board in 2023, and she brings her energy, her dedication to helping bridge gaps and instill hope, particularly drawing from my experience as a first-generation Filipino American. She's an inspiring speaker and mentor. She has been featured in Lead with Purpose and Walk with Pride. She has delivered impactful sessions on vision, guiding others to align their goals with their deeper purpose. Her journey guides her mission to transform adversity into empowerment. She always strives to uplift others around her with genuine intention and dedication. Let's just maybe look at her core values and her vision. Agatha is also known for her tenacity and compassion. She believes in purposeful driven leadership, leading by example and clarity and vision. In the community, she uplifts, uses her personal challenges to fuel those changes. Agatha Reed is also a native of Stockton, and for that, she continues to transform both the business and the community landscapes by empowering individuals through entrepreneurship, service, and just inspiring others. Agatha, do you have anything to say?
Yes, that was beautiful, Chibwe. Thank you for the introduction. I'm very thankful to be here today with you all and for this opportunity and experience. Like she stated, I am the first generation USA born. My family did come out here. My grandparents came out here when I was younger, to give a better life to their kids and their grandkids. Um, so when that time happened, I didn't know when I was younger, obviously, what that was about. However, as I got older and was able to learn about that information, that's when I decided, I was like, you know what? My grandparents came here for a reason. They left their home, their culture, and immersed themselves in something totally new. And not only that, while they were here, they ended up starting their own business, dealing with the restaurant in Milpitas, California. So they had a Filipino restaurant. And here I am, a young child, helping them gain people to come in. I remember I used to help my grandpa whenever they would open, like, hey, food's ready. I would stand outside the store, and I guess you could say this is where my entrepreneurship kind of started. I would see people walking by and say, hey, you should come try my grandparents' cooking.
Mm.
Well, I guess it worked because people would always be so charmed by my cute little face. But remembering that at that age, and as being an adult and realizing I am the firstborn, I wanted to make sure that I was able to give back. I wanted to make an impact. I still want to make an impact just like my grandparents did. Thankfully, now they're retired, they're in the Philippines, but they really did do a lot when they were here. Not only did they help themselves, but they always helped others. And that was the thing my grandparents always told me. You always want to give service, provide service to others, because sometimes people can't provide their own service to themselves. And it takes you as that person to help them find what their purpose and their passion is to better lead and serve others as well. Because, I don't know about you all, but for me, God is number one in my life. God is good all the time, and he never fails. And this was basically showing me that, hey, if my grandparents can leave what they know and jump into something totally new, adapt to it, face adversity, build things, and then retire and live happily back in their homeland, I know I can do it. And I know that everyone else can do it too.
Thank you again, Agatha, for joining us today. I can't wait to hear more of those stories. Thank you. Today we're talking about growth through adversity.
Mhm.
Adversity is universal. Everyone faces challenges, setbacks, or failures at some point. It's not the adversity itself that defines us, but how we respond. Nelson Mandela said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall." Today, we will explore the journeys that shape us and the lessons that propel us forward. We're diving into a vital aspect of personal growth, and that's through adversity. Life's challenges and setbacks are often seen as obstacles, but in truth, they are powerful catalysts for self-awareness and transformation. When faced with adversity, we are pushed out of our comfort zones and into a space where reflection becomes necessary. And it's in those tough moments that we begin to understand ourselves, our true strengths, our identity, our weaknesses, and even recognize what actually truly matters to us. So adversity compels us to adapt, whether it means developing new skills, shifting our mindsets, or even redefining our goals. The beauty of this process is that through struggle, we grow. And this is both personally and professionally. We become more resilient, we become more empathetic, and more capable of handling future challenges with confidence. So today, we're going to explore how adversity, despite its difficulty, can actually serve as a powerful force, as a powerful tool for positive change and personal development. So stay with us, to our audience, stay with us as we uncover inspiring stories, practical strategies, and even mindsets that can turn that adversity into an opportunity for growth with our guest, Agatha Reed. So, Agatha, let's
Yes,
dive into it now.
sure.
What does adversity mean to you, and how has it impacted your personal growth?
For me, adversity is a difficulty, right? So anything that when you're trying to accomplish something, but you just can't quite get there, or something is hindering you from actually obtaining that goal, right? For me, the way it impacts my personal growth is through it positively impacts it. Okay, and the reason why I say that is I don't know if anyone know you guys know Michael Jordan. He's my favorite basketball player, by the way. Favorite
Okay,
team, the
it's good
Bulls.
to know.
Yeah. He says you miss 100% of the shots that you don't make, right? And I remember reading that and watching, his old games, and I'm like, in life, even though you take a shot and it hits the rim, that doesn't mean it's over for you. All that means is you gotta adjust the way you shoot. You gotta adjust the way you let it go. You gotta adjust the way you see things. You just have to find a different way that'll work. That's why I say failure is not a negative thing. In all honesty, what it is, it's just another way for you to find out what works. because you already found out what didn't work. So now in your mind is to figure out what works. So for me, it's always a positive thing. I tend to like stop, take a moment, reflect, and tell myself, what am I supposed to learn from this? What exactly, what exactly did I do? What do I need to change? How did it go wrong? And when I sit there and think about it and assess, pause, assess over and over again, that's where the clarity comes in. And I'm like, oh, well, the reason why this didn't work is because this is how I set it up. So let me try it this other way. And 9 times out of 10, when I do that, I end up shooting that ball and it goes straight into the hoop.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that answer. And I think maybe because of the way you've answered, I'm going to ask a follow-up, a question
Mm,
that maybe will allow you to give a specific moment when you faced that challenge. And how did it allow you to change the way you shot the hoop so that it became an opportunity for you?
absolutely. So, like you stated earlier, when you did my bio, I did face homelessness for about a year. Ideally, people look at homelessness and either A, they shy away from it, two, they're not very proud of it, or three, it's people think, oh, homelessness, they chose to be that way, right? Well, for me, of course, homelessness was not a choice. At that time in my life, I was very young. I was about 19 years old. And I was faced with a difficult, at that time, in my opinion, was a difficult decision. Either A, I pay my rent, or B, I pay my tags. So they're current. So at the apartment complex at the time, they had a stipulation. In order for your vehicle to be there, it had to have current registration, right? So I did my due diligence. I spoke to the landlord and let them know the situation. They assured me that everything was going to be okay. However, the next day, okay, I pay my rent. My car is gone. So, in order for me to get to work, I need a vehicle because I work about an hour away. So, needless to say, after that, I had to think to myself, well, how am I going having the savings that I have and my rent going from 900 to 1300 in a blink of an eye? How am I going to afford this? Well, the truth behind it is I couldn't. So, the next day after that, I had to go to the um the lot and get my car out. So I had to stay in my car for a little bit. And of course, it was a difficult reality. That was definitely something that I didn't think I was going to face in my life, especially at that young age. However, being in that situation and at the time with my boyfriend, who is now my husband, we we had to come together. We didn't lose everything. We got our car back. We were able to stay in our car. Thankfully, we had Winco, who was open 24 hours, so that's where we were sleeping at in the parking lot. We went to In Shape because they're open really late, so shower, get ready for the day, and work. The only thing missing was an actual stable house. When I tell you that this was an amazing experience, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. The reason why I say it's an amazing experience because during this time of homelessness, we went to Loaves and Fishes. Now, Loaves and Fishes in there is a food bank where they provide food to those who are homeless. And, at that time, we were homeless, so we're eating that food and we're also helping serve as well. Because, a lot of these people, they don't plan to be homeless. They have either natural disasters hit their homes, either just bad luck or just poor decisions and no support system. During this time, I had a moment where I had like an out of body experience. And I felt like God was kind of talking to me. They say that God puts you in positions not because he's trying to punish you, but because he knows that you can make it work, that you can make it happen, that you're resilient, that you're tough, that you can handle it. So through this time, I kid you not, this is where I found my purpose and my pride. My purpose is because everyone's here talking to me about how myself and my husband don't belong here. We need to be um, somewhere, we need to be living life. Like being homeless is not for us. And yeah, of course, we're thankful, we to hear that, like, it's not what we were trying to do. But with these people that we were building relationships with, their stories, especially how deep they got into it, it made me realize and feel very sad. It made me feel sad for people. And it made my husband and I, think to ourselves, like, how can we give back when we make it out of here? What can we do differently to provide for people, in these situations? Because again, you have people who talk about homeless people who are pretty much like nothing, and it's crazy to me, um, without knowing the actual situation. And so that's why we decided, when we get out of this situation, we're gonna fight tooth and nail to work our butts off and do whatever we can to give back. That means, like for example, right now, that's why I'm in the emergency food bank, because I want to give back and I want to show people that it doesn't matter who you are, if you're homeless or not, food is there for you. We are here for you. And our junk removal, trash harnesses negative energy, and dark spaces are dark spaces harness negative energy. And what we want to do is release that, move that away, and give you your mental clarity back. And then with the Alchemist Group, we want to equip those around us who don't have the same experiences as us, who are fortunate to have family members and support and a support system. We want to be there for them because experience is the best teacher. So again, homelessness is what brought the purpose and pride to Vision. And this is why I'm here today.
How do you typically respond? Is it always resilience? Do you have moments of responding in frustration, or is it avoidance? Is it a build-up from one stage to the next? How do you typically respond having moved from that?
For me, ever since that experience and, learning from my grandparents and my family about, God first and everything, and always praying, prayer is very big. Resilience for me. I can attest to this. Well, my husband can attest to this because it drives him crazy sometimes. Because he's like, the world could, like, the whole building can be burning. You're over here like everything's gonna be all right because and that's just me. Like, I can't sit here and get mad or irritated or frustrated because what is that gonna solve? What is that gonna do besides bring my blood pressure up, make me dizzy, or frustrate me? In my opinion, I think about the situation, the challenge, and how I can maneuver to where I can overcome it. Because I think that's the thing. That's another thing that I learned too through my life experiences. I realized that I was scared of things that were unknown. And it wasn't until I got older where I'm like, so what if this is coming at you? What's after this is going to be worth more than what you're facing. So the reason why you're facing this is because it's a challenge for you to grow. Because, growth happens when you step outside the comfort zone, not when you're just sitting there, waiting for things to come to you. It's another way for you to kind of hone in on those skills and learn and know what you're made of and what you can do. So resilience is definitely it for me.
Wow. Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, resilience. I think your grandparents, I think, played a big role. And I can see because you started with them and you showed how they managed, how they started the business, and I think they set a good example for you. But what I also see is you are grounded in the Lord. I think, and that actually is so powerful because that can uplift you in the when you are low. And if you are grounded, I think that there's still pain. I'm sure you went through pain,
Yes.
but at the same time, you are hopeful. So
As they say, with no pain, there's no hope. And with
there's
no
no
hope, there
hope.
you would not know pain.
Yes, yes,
And it's very true, Chibwe, because if you look at my cup, I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, you can't see
yeah,
it.
we
It
can. Yeah.
says,
Oh,
Yep.
I can do all things through Christ
Christ
who
strengthens
strengthens
strengthens me.
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 Philipp-
Uh,
Philippians
Philippines
4:13.
4:13. Wonderful.
And
Excellent.
it's a constant reminder. That's the thing. You
Yes,
have to constantly remind yourself of who you are and why you're here.
yes. I just love the positiveness even when you are grounded, when you are down. I think it really echoes, and I think it's good for our audience that some of them who are just going through hardships, going through a tough time. But for me, I see that mindset played a bigger role in your life to be transformed.
Mhm.
So, how did you tap in the mindset so that you could continue to grow, and or how do you continue to tap in that or shift your mindset such that your resilience can always be consistent?
Well, one thing I can say is the mind will always play tricks on you. It'll play tricks on you. It will test you. However, when you're able to just stop, take that breather, and sit down and think for a moment, internally just breathe and just listen to yourself, and you know who you are, you understand who you are, you start to flip the script. When you flip that script, it's no longer, can I? What if I can't? Or, anything doubtful. It's, I can, I will, I am. So for me, it's what also helped me is surrounding myself with people who are of like mindset, who are where I want to be one day, who are not only those who take, but also give in return, as far as like, you fill their cup, they fill your cup. Um, Podcasts, listening to Tony Robbins, John C. Maxwell, just all these people, because, in the world we have right now, when it's a lot of negativity. And it's funny because some people have told me before because you can hear, when you're playing music in your car, people can hear things, on the outside. I've had one of my coworkers before tell me, "You're so positive. Why are you so positive? It's weird." And it threw me off. And I'm like, "What do you mean it's weird?" Well, it's because it's not their norm. See, for me, I had to, I've gone through it and I've overcome. And one thing that I learned is that each time I went through it, guess what? I overcame. So even though at that moment, yeah, like you said, Chip, I'll probably cry, I'll be frustrated, I'll second guess myself, but then I have the people around me, I have God that I pray to, and it's that moment where I know myself and I tell myself, you know who you are, you got this, let's go. And everything just starts from my mind, everything that I've faced and overcame starts playing. And it's like, man, I was homeless and I made it out of there, and it's like, and here you are. What are you doing now? Now you're doing so many things for the community. You, it's mind-boggling sometimes because the type of people that I know, the rooms that I'm in now, I'm no longer in rooms where I feel inadequate or scared or, now I'm in rooms where I come in and everyone's happy to see me. It doesn't matter what what the past, what your past is. It's how you, what you do with it from this point forward, your experiences, what you're going to do with it and how you're going to help others. And that's the thing. um yeah, so for me, even though your mind does tend to be that negative part, they said negative, your mind is can be the worst part about you, But when you flip that script and you start telling yourself positive things every single day, it starts to change the perspective for you. And that's really what it is, your perspective.
So it's positive affirmation on a
Yes.
constant basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that you truly believe in the saying that goes that things happen for you, not to you.
Not to you. Exactly.
So that is very evident. And I am so happy that I associate with you because those positivity truly rabbit. I've never seen you where you are not smiling. I think every time we have had the opportunity, I think you really fill the room with positivity. And thank you that you do that because it uplifts other people. And we need more people with that
Mm-hmm.
attitude. And doesn't mean that you're not under the weather.
Of
It just
course.
means that I have to float.
Yeah.
I have to stay afloat, otherwise I sink. And and that is really telling.
Yes. Trust me, I'm not perfect in any way,
Yeah.
shape, or form. But
Mm-hmm.
what I do know is when you learn something,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean, it'll stick with you.
Yeah.
And that's what'll help you overcome a lot of things.
I just like how you explained the mindset, the role of mindset in everything, and just the role the mind plays. And it very capable of playing all these negative thoughts and going into a why me state. But you've also shared very good points there about opportunities to figure out what works. You said it's failure is an opportunity to figure out what works and just being able to ask the right questions. So, with the right mindset, I'm sure this also involves asking yourself the right questions. Like you said, if you could overcome homelessness,
Mhm.
then you can overcome whatever the next challenge is. So that's really great mindset, especially to someone that's listening and is going through an adversity and they're in a state of why me and all those negative questions. I just love how you've shared and been vulnerable, and someone can see where you are and really relate to your experience. So thank you for sharing that.
You're
And
welcome.
I love the story about your grandma as well, the resilience that you learned from her. I don't know if there's anyone else. Is there anyone else that you admire? Anyone else that has turned the adversity into a source of strength? And what can our audience learn from their story?
Yes. So one of the other big ones that I look up to is also my husband. Um, so my husband, he he's a very good guy, you know. But again, this is where the mind, you know, let me bring it back. So it stems from childhood, you know. Depending on what happens in your childhood, it then later on in life it starts to come out as an adult. So one of the things that I'm very proud of is for his resilience because as a man in this world, you don't really get a chance to share your emotion or what you're feeling, what you think about. Just it's all about, hey, in society it's you have to protect, you have to provide, you have to just be a man. Like it's such an umbrella term. Well, for him, his thing was kind of like me in the beginning, where I used to come around people when we first opened up our junk removal business. We didn't know people like that, so I had to get out, go to these networking events, um, and bring business. So during that time, it was just me doing it. I went to this one networking meeting, which led me to one of the chamber events. Then all of a sudden, now I'm part of multiple chambers, which is crazy. But my husband as well, he used to feel how I felt before, which was inadequate. And the reason being is because neither one of us, we have high school diplomas, but we didn't go to college. We didn't graduate college. It took us a while to realize And again, it depends on who you surround yourself with, the people that are there for you. I don't know how many times people tell me, you don't need a college degree. You're good where you're at, but still your mental is like, well, it's that party with society. Like we both were thinking, like, maybe we should go get a degree, but we're good where we're at, like the stuff that we're doing is what a lot of people are scared to do. And that's putting our faith in God and our businesses and, the hard work and everything. So with him, it's overcoming his, personal traumas and his adversities as to like, he had to break generational traumas on his own. He had to overcome them and he put himself in places that made him super uncomfortable. See, I graduated Leadership Stockton class of 23, and that's one of the programs at the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce that they have, and I highly recommend to anyone who is in the Stockton area in California to attend. Um, so I graduated in 2023, and lo and behold, he decided he wanted to go. Now, when I tell you my first experience in that class, it threw me off because my classmate here on one side is a lawyer, and then the other one is like owns multiple businesses and a doctor, and this it gets overwhelming. So for him, like he tells me, he's a blue collar worker. That's all he knows is blue collar work. When he stepped into the arena, he stepped into that arena he told me it could have worked out two ways. He could have went to the first class, been intimidated, and quit, or did what he did, which is he saw who he had around him, and instead of allowing that fear to overcome him, he stuck with it. And now his mindset is totally different from the person he was a year before he started that class or before he graduated. Now he has a whole network. And that's the thing that I love about him. Like, my grandparents too, because they did everything for us and to provide us and show us what resilience is. But it's when you know someone that you've seen as you got together, like we've been together for 14 years, grow into the person they are now. So much respect, so much love. Like I'm just so proud of him. Like he's definitely someone that I feel that everyone can learn from. That doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter if you have generational traumas. You can stop that. If you have the willpower and the what is that word? And the need to overcome that and say this is enough, you can and you will succeed.
Yeah.
So kudos to my husband, Sammy.
Yeah. I'm happy when you say the willpower. I think what drowns many when you're going through that path of adversity is the willpower to go on, the willpower to fight, the willpower to stand up when you're knocked down.
Yes.
And I think that you have very strong willpower. And this is when I can say the Lord allowed the two of you to go through that path together. Because when you talk about this and whatever you talk about, I think you have similar experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience actually builds you together as a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing, before we continue, another thing that I can say about being homeless is it really showed. Now, it's not an ideal thing. I'm not saying you should go be homeless on purpose. Oh, that got me in feelings. What I am saying is though that situations differ person to person.
Yeah.
And sometimes when God gives you that mission and you overcome it, when you're hit with these adversities throughout life, it's always that you remember.
Mhm.
And then you're able to kind of hone in and say, you know what? It could have went wrong, but it went right. And I'm gonna trust myself and trust God, and we're just gonna hit it head on and just overcome it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow, I think we are almost remaining with about 6 minutes
Oh,
to our time. I think we are having a wonderful conversation here, and conversation that will enrich the audience that we want this to touch, and the audience that we want to have the knowledge, the sort of a way in which they can themselves overcome the challenges that they are going through. And I think to add on to that, I think you spoke about some of the strategies that you use, but I would like you to spell them out so that our audience can really understand, maybe spell out three of them, strategies that have been very effective for you and that helps you to continue to exhibit the resilience you do have when you are in difficult situation.
okay, sure. So, when you face a difficult situation, I want you guys to just stop for a moment. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about anything that's happening around you. Just stop. Just breathe in, breathe out, and remember who you are. Think about all the situations that you've already came across that was a challenge, and remember how you overcame that. And know that just because this one's a little bit bigger of an obstacle, you will and you can succeed. And with your mind, when your mind is playing those tricks on you, I want you to flip that script. When you say I can't do it, I want you to say I can do it. When your mind says you're not good enough, you're gonna get up and you're gonna tell yourself in the mirror you are good enough. I want you to do these positive affirmations, and I promise you, give it 1 week. Do it consistently for 1 week and watch your mindset change and shift. That is my that is what I'm gonna leave with you guys today.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Wow. You just answered the last thing I was going to ask because, you might have someone there that is thinking, well, easier said than done. How do you move from A to B? So that's a very wonderful nugget you've shared. Nice reminders.
Thank you. And again, like life will definitely get you when you least expect it. But when life gets you, don't scare away, don't turn around and avoid it. I want you to hit that thing head on because once you even take that step towards it, remember you're already a step closer to overcoming it than you were beforehand. So
Mm,
just go for it.
yeah.
Don't be scared. You got people here. I'm here for everyone. So please definitely reach out.
Yep. And I think towards the end, would like to, I think if you have a website or anything that people can, who would like to access I think if you can share with us, I think that would be wonderful because what you've shared today is so powerful, and it will help many people. And our audience needs this. We all need this. I think, despite the resilience what we have or we show, I think we need to hear other people's perspective, how they tackle that, and then we can continue to incorporate those things in within our own walks of challenges that come every day in our lives. So,
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. It's Agatha Reed. Um, and I would also recommend if we're on Facebook and Instagram, the Alchemist Group LLC. That's where you see myself and my team, as well as Dogtown Junk LLC, which is on Facebook and Instagram as well. If you can't follow me on all of them, you can follow me on one of them, and you'll find me. It's all
mm,
interconnected. So, again, don't be shy. Come say hi. I'll be more than happy to listen to you. If you need someone to listen and if you need advice, I'll be more than happy to give that too.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I wish we had lots of time because the topic itself, growth through adversity, and how you have addressed that really is impactful. I think we'll have another chapter next time so that we can talk more about what you're doing and how how the people that are in your lives, how you've surrounded yourself and made choices to ensure that the people that you are with help you to grow as well. Yeah. So as we wrap up today's exploration of growth through adversity, we should remember what Agatha actually said, that the challenges are not just obstacles to us. Just as we saw to her, the challenge that she faced was not an obstacle, but it provided the opportunity for her to continue to thrive, to be stronger, and actually to change her mindset so that she can continue to grow constantly. So every setback, every hardship you face is a stepping stone towards becoming a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself, just like what Agatha has done and continues to do. So let us all embrace adversity as a vital part of our journey, of your journey, knowing that it has the power to reveal the true strength and unlock your fullest potential. Keep pushing forward, stay reflective, and trust that every difficult you overcome is laying the foundation to a brighter future, more empowering future that you always see. So thank you, Agatha, for sharing your story. The story that has been told maybe in some area or some with the other audiences, but this story is going to be shared by the audience that we need, the immigrant women, the minority women that need it more. So until next time, keep growing through adversity, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Agatha. Thank you for sharing that inspiring journey. Thank you for joining us, everyone, on this insightful discussion about how adversity can serve as a catalyst for profound personal growth. Remember, it's in our toughest moments that we discover who we really are and what we are capable of achieving. We've heard from Agatha how adversity sparked innovation and creativity, and that experience is now a pathway for someone else to overcome. So the next time life throws a challenge your way, see it as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to thrive. Growth doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in our struggles. And it's within that struggle that we find our true resilience, like we've heard today. So stay inspired, stay resilient, and continue to turn adversity into your greatest advantage. Until next time, take care and keep striving for greatness. We hope to see you on our next episode. Thank you for joining us on this journey to elevate and inspire. Until next time, lead with purpose and grow with passion.